yo, drop that track. Hey, yo, listen, it's going down just like this.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to I'm Just Sayin with NJ. Tonight's panelists are Nicole Riles, a litigation paralegal who helps clients through personal injury law. When general and family disputes arise, she is the one you should call, as she has a bachelor's degree in psychology and is a certified mediator. She is also a customer service rep and assistant instructor at QVC and completely enjoys being a wife and a mother. Sonia Phillips, the owner and fashion designer of Stretch Couture, a sustainable clothing company that specializes in swimwear, exotic dancewear, and pet apparel. She is the founder of Sexy Unicorn, a networking community designed for professional women that embrace their sexy side. She is currently serving as Miss African American Culture Galaxy 2020 and Miss Virginia Beach American Nation 2020. And yours truly, Shannon Huskinson, a Virginia local working in a creative space involved in aspects from set design to merchandise managing. As a mentor, she shows youth the importance of understanding their self-worth, intentional decision making, and respecting others in communication, including healthy conflict. She lives her life not just to model fashion and beauty, but to inspire and encourage others to be comfortable in their uniqueness and confident in their purpose. And our host for this evening, NJ.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of I'm Just Sayin. Joining me tonight, I have some lovely ladies. I have Shannon, Sonia, and Nicole. I'd like to welcome you to my episode of I'm Just Sayin. So we're going to dive right in because time always seems to go really fast. So I'm going to get right into it. So my first question tonight is, okay, this is it. Would you date a man or marry a man that makes less than you? I'm just saying. When it comes to financial situations, most times you grow up as a little girl and you've been told all your life that he's the provider. He should do this and he should do that. But would you marry a man or date a man based on his finances? Or it's okay for a man to make less than you and you still date him or even marry him? I'm just saying. Anyone can answer first.
So I'll jump off inspired. Like you said, I have always been raised. My dad would always say to me, and my mom would always say to me, whoever you're with has to at least make the same amount as you. Well, I've come to learn that sometimes that's just not the case, right? But I feel like if you can provide, then it's okay. Whatever I bring to the table, if it's extra, then it's extra. If you can provide for this household and you can provide for the things that we know that we want and like and need, then okay, I can rock with you. But now, if you're not really trying to do nothing, you ain't got no ambition, you ain't really trying to go nowhere, now that's a whole different story. Yeah. That's a whole different story.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Sonia.
So, sorry, I was trying to share this. Sorry, pause y'all over here. Wait, it's still trying to talk. Sorry. Yeah, I was trying to share it out, but I'm not good at multitasking, as y'all can see. So my opinion about that, I would date a man that makes less than me, but I just kind of feel like we will have to have a conversation about what are you doing with your life? Are you just going to stay right there? Are you working in a business that, being a business owner, sometimes you have a loss and you're building up. So I would need to know what is the plan. Like, yeah. You know, like you got an invention that's gonna like the next Tesla or something. I'm like, I would say yes, just to answer your question, but I would need a little bit more information.
Some background. She needs some background.
I need a little bit more information before he put a ring on it, or before I put a ring on it, since that's the topic of today. Before there is rings being put on anywhere, we're gonna have a talk. And Nicole, we will have to have some documents in place because it's a business at the end of the day. Let's just be
come on, documents.
Yeah, the prenup have to come up, right? Yeah,
we're gonna have to talk about that because it's a business. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, times have really changed, I think, and it's not, when you marry young, you might more so be in the same place and you grow, but a lot of people are waiting to get married, and they've established careers and they've established lifestyles and everything. So, I think that especially providing, you have to look at the definition of providing. I think there can be, a man can bring so much more to the relationship than finances. Finances are important. I mean, if I'm not making it, I know when I married my husband, I needed him to be the provider. That's just where I was, and that was our dynamic. But I think I definitely would marry someone who made less than me at this point in my life, because I'm just in a different place than I was then.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I definitely
that's a good point.
Okay, so my question to you is, we've come up in such a different generation from then and now. So much has changed in relationships, it changed in marriage situations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the person that I believe that the man should pay for the meal when we going out on a date. I'm just saying.
Okay.
So my question to you ladies is it okay for the woman to pay for the first date? I'm just saying. Is it okay for her to say, you know what, I got this bill?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Sonia, let's hear from you.
What I would say is that it's okay to offer to pay. I would commend any woman that's willing to pay, but deep down inside, I hope people like, no, babe, I got this. Let me treat you like the queen that you are. I got this. And then be like, well, at least let me leave the tip, So for me, I might put it out there and have the stacks to cover it in case he do say yes. I made it happen, and I erased his number the next day. Let's just be real. I was like, hey, you need me to help you pay for this gift? You could, give me, XYZ. I went ahead, opened up my little billfold, and paid for half of the meal, and deleted his number by the time I drove out of that parking lot. I sure did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, we going out. You got it.
Yep.
You got it. That's just what it is. Now, maybe a couple of days down the line, especially because I'm the type, I like to do different stuff. I like to be adventurous. I would be prepared to cover whatever I want to bring to the table, whatever, something different that's not what we usually do or something like that. I would be ready. But I'm still expecting for you to be like, oh no, boo, won't even worry about it. Or I'm here with you. You don't even got to foot all of it. I'm here with you. Okay.
I think
it's acceptable. But first date, no, because first date you had to come approach me, boo boo, and because I'm not approaching you, so you had to come and step up and do you. And when we get to this first date, if you sitting here with alligator arms like that commercial, I can't reach. I can't reach.
Oh, no.
Like Sonia said, I'm gonna cover because you ain't gonna embarrass me. But trust and believe. That's that. That was the end of that whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just thinking about that. Oh gosh, I can't imagine being at dinner on a first date, and if I wasn't sure, I'd probably offer. But if he was going to take me up on that, I don't know. I don't really know about that. I mean, if he didn't come prepared, it's definitely not moving forward from there.
So you ladies are saying that you would offer
I would offer.
to pay the first date, even
Oh,
though
no.
that's
She wouldn't.
not what you really want to do.
I'm not offering to pay the first date. Now, if we stuck at the table and you telling me you ain't got it, then I'll cover it. But I'm not offering nothing. Okay?
I think I'd offer. I think if I wasn't sure, and it's like a transition point, and where I might be like, hey, you want to split it, or I might say, you want me to help out, but yeah, I wouldn't expect him to take me up on it. So, maybe that would be wrong on me for even mentioning it, but
yeah,
maybe that's just a little test.
Well,
I mean, you might have the test, so.
He was in my personal situation where the guy did take me up on it. He was slow to get the bill. So in my mind, I'm like, this dude, what is taking him so long? Because you know how the waitresses keep coming back and checking. I was like, she keeps coming back for it. Did you want to go ahead and pay the check? And then he was like, oh yeah, I'll go ahead and get that. I was like, did you need me to, put something towards it? He's like, yeah, if you could give me like 20 towards it. I was like, okay. So I gave him the 20, and so I did not offer to leave the tip. I just gave him that $20 towards the meal, and then he was like, okay, well, I'll give you a call. I was like, all right, you have a good rest of your day. Got in the car, deleted his number, and blocked the number, deleted it, and I'm sure he probably tried to call me again, but yeah, I don't know, because he was blocked and deleted, so I have no idea.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say I've never, thank God, had the opportunity to experience that. I've never went on a date where I had to offer, or I even felt like he was not going to do it.
Yeah.
I can honestly say I have dated someone, and I remember him paying for every last date that we had, and he actually, the one time I did, was like, you know what? I'm gonna be nice, because now we're in a full-fledged relationship. I was like, I'm gonna pay for the meal. And actually, when I flipped out my credit card, he was offended.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I expect.
He was offended, and he asked the waiter to excuse us for a second. And he was like, what are you doing? This what you doing in a restaurant for real in front of people? I didn't even know what to say. I was like, I was stuck. And he had never talked to me in that tone before. So I was just like, I'm just saying.
You know what to do with yourself.
Yeah, I was really for those few moments. I didn't even know what to say. I was more embarrassed, because I felt like he checked me like a little kid. He was like, and he was so nice to the waiter, like, yo, can you give us a minute? And then he was like, yo, what are you doing? He leaned in on me. He did the lean in. So I was like, I'm in trouble. Let me put my little credit card away. Like, he was offended by it. So I'm grateful that I've never had that experience, because me personally, I'm just saying, I don't believe a woman should pay for the first date.
Yeah.
I don't.
No.
Me personally, I'm not speaking for the half of women. I date people that I know that it's optional. I pay if I want to.
Yeah.
Not if I have to.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
and we have this new age in this new group, and so this is leading up to my next question is this new generation believes in 50-50. I'm just saying, what do you think? Do you think it's okay to go to a restaurant, or go on vacation, or go do any type of thing, and then you say, okay, we're going, but we splitting the bill? Nicole, we're gonna hear from you first.
Yeah,
they like, okay, it's fine with them to split a bill.
I don't know. I think you're kind of like moving the goalpost, and I'm not really sure that's the direction it's supposed to be going. But I think that, it goes along with the expectation. And so if people are thinking, that's what they want to do, maybe they're thinking, I don't want to be committed to any, maybe if they feel like they pay for their part of it, that they're, not committed to anything else further after that. I'm really not sure what's behind that, but I think that for the man, it's still, I think he's really more so in the position to take the lead on that. And if he's really trying to impress, I feel like, if he's serious about trying to impress, I think that's something that he would, want to consider going ahead and picking it up.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty much in the same headspace as Nicole on that one. I feel like if we're going somewhere, and especially if this is something that was planned, why am I doing 50? What is no. Now, if we are just friends and we taking a group trip,
that's what I was thinking.
Taking a group trip, then yeah, I'm gonna put in my portion of this bill. But if this is you trying to, you trying to take me out, you trying to wine and dine, you trying to do something nice, you need to be ready to cover that. Now, just as a stand-up for myself, I'm gonna cover me. I'm gonna be ready to make sure I'm good. But I'm not. That's not something that I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, no, I got it. No, that's if you planning, you need to be ready. And you need to have your little ducats in a row,
right?
So that you can show me the time of my life. Like I don't. Now I will say this. If I planned a trip, that means I looked into what the financial costs of A, B, C, and D were. I'm gonna be ready for it, especially maybe it's a gift. Maybe I want to do something nice for you for your birthday, or maybe it's a little anniversary when we got together. Then I'm gonna cover that. But if it's not one of those kind of situations where I'm doing something nice for you and I want to show you my appreciation for you, then no.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
Sonia?
In my mind, I'm thinking if you want me on my back, you better come with them stacks, because I'm not paying a daggone thing. Period.
I wasn't ready. I was not ready.
You want me on my back? You want it from the back? You
gotta pay where you lay.
Exactly. If we all friends, it's a group trip, then I got my 50%. If we just all friends and ain't no hanky panky funny business. But yeah, you're dating me, you're courting me, we're in a relationship. If you're saying, hey, let's take this trip, I'm expecting you to pay. Now, it's one thing if, say, I think about like, say we're married and it's a household and we're pooling our resources together as a one unit. We're already married and pooling our resources. Then I could see him saying, hey, let's pull something from this account, from your account to pay for the hotel, but I got everything else. Because at the end of the day, all the money is going in the same pot anyway, if y'all already married. And see, I'm not married. I think, Nicole, you said you were married. So, I don't know how that married pot works, but in my mind, I would think that all the money coming in, except for my secret stash over here, it doesn't exist. Wink, wink.
Right.
But the account that he does know about, I could see us having a joint pot for finances.
Yeah.
But if we're just dating and separate finances, and you're telling me, hey, we're gonna go on this trip, we're gonna go do this thing, I would expect you to pay for it.
Yeah. So how does that work for you? Like in that sense, Nicole, with your husband, if you guys do a trip or something like that, is that something where you like he would be prepare everything and do everything, or is it one of those that kind of comes out of the same pot, or is it kind of a little bit of both?
Yeah, so it definitely he is definitely the provider. I'll say that. He's the breadwinner. I'm
Mhm.
contributing now more than I have because my kids are in school.
Yeah.
And, you know, I sacrificed why they were not so that I could spend more time with them. But that just puts us in a better position. But we do have the same pot. I mean, we have an expense account, we have a savings, we have, you know, so, and we took a trip a little while ago to Grand Canyon and Las Vegas. And I mostly planned it though. I'll say that. It was kind of like my idea, like, hey, let's do this. And he was kind of just cool with whatever. So, and it came out of the money that we put aside in the expense account. So, yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering, like, how does that work when you're married? Do you still expect? But basically, you're saying if it's something that he put together, that's more than likely it's something that he would have prepared to pay for.
Oh yeah. Well,
Okay.
yeah, but like it's kind of like his money is my money, you know, and it's kind of always been like that. I mean, I have been blessed in that way. So it's, you know, he hadn't really. I kind of do more of the controlling of the budget and everything.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just wondered, you know, how it goes when you're already married.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what just happened, but I was just like, what in the world in the middle of my show live? This is what the host got going on? Really?
But the show went on, girl, without you. We
Come
was
on
still
here.
over
Y'all
here
was holding
talking.
it down.
We got you, girl.
Yes. So I know when it comes to relationships, my friends call me, my friends that really know me, they call me old fashioned, and I'm okay. They call me grandma. When it comes to certain things, I'm very old fashioned. And when it comes to dating and relationships, I believe in the old fashioned way. And I don't think it's nothing wrong with this new modern thing, but I like the old fashioned way. And so my question is, it's opening up the door and pulling out the chair considered old fashioned now? Because if you be honest, how often do you really see that? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine, a good friend of mine. He used to say chivalry is dead and women killed it. And, and you know, just it's I don't know. I think it's kind of sad because I appreciate getting the door held for me. And I mean, my husband, before we were married, he did that more often, and now not as much. If we're going out on a date or something like that, and I'm dressing up, then he'll probably get the door for me, and the car door. But yeah, I can imagine if I was like, "Don't do that. You don't have to do that," then he probably would never do it again. So, I certainly don't have that expectation, but it's appreciated. And I guess that, maybe I'm like, hey, if I would have appreciated it more, then maybe he would do it more. Like if I, hey, I really like it when you hold my, if I said that, I don't know if it would change anything, but, yeah, I'm definitely, I respect that a lot.
Okay, let's hear from you, Sonia. How you feel about it?
I feel like it's still there. I just think it's not as full fledged. Like I find that a lot of the guys that I date, that they open doors, hold doors, car doors, in and out of buildings, restaurants, things like that. I have had the chairs pulled out recently, so that still definitely carried an umbrella. That was nice recently. I had a umbrella carrier and a jacket giver. So I think that there are still gentlemen out there. But I believe that us as women, we have to set the standard. Like I'm independent, I'm a latchkey kid. So I had to force myself to just stand outside of a door and not touch it. Like took everything within me not to touch the handle. And so I set the tone for what I expect from them. So usually once I do that, sitting still, like sitting in the car and waiting for them to come open the door. I had to train myself to allow them to be a gentleman. And I think that's a part of it, is that maybe a lot of the young ladies today are independent, headstrong. They're not taking that self-control to allow the men to be men and be gentlemen.
I like that a
it
lot.
takes some restraints. It really does. And then just saying thank you with a smile, you know, and just let them know you appreciate them. For me, I find that they're willing to do it even more. I'm like, thank you so much. Even though, yeah, you should be doing this anyway. But if I'm still just like, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
That's
So,
good.
like
I
that.
mean, Shannon, what you think?
So I totally think, and I feel like, I think to a certain extent, the statement about the women don't want it or necessarily encourage it is true. So because I believe I'm a culprit of that, right? So growing up, like Sonia said, latchkey kid, growing up, I didn't really, like, my dad didn't do those kind of things. And so after a while, my dad wasn't really in my life. So me and my sisters, we didn't, you know what I mean? We didn't grow up learning about the whole pulling out the chair and opening up the doors and all this kind of stuff. So we just do what we got to do and we can keep it moving. Right. So I literally just recently, within these last couple of years, well, first, let me say this. I had some friends that I saw, a married couple, and every time, it didn't matter what kind of event, it could have been a birthday, it could have been a ball, a birthday dinner or a ball that we were going to, dress up, wearing formal. He always opened the door for her, always would make sure if she was cold, he would give her his jacket, pulling out the chair. And I was just like,
yes,
I want that too. So, and just recently what I started doing, and I still have to think about it, but even with my friends, I'll allow there's no romantic anything, but I will allow them to be the man in that moment and show that chivalry, and they'll open the door, because they will. If I go to open the door, they'll let me.
They will let you.
If I stand there and I wait, or I, shift to the side so they can come through and do that, they'll do it. And I had to realize, like, okay, Shannon, give them the chance to do it for you, because I'm so quick. Oh, I got it. I, like you said, Sonia, independent, honey. I got it. You ain't got to worry about it. Because for a while there, I was like, I don't need y'all. I'm good.
With that statement being said, I was just looking at one of the comments, and Myra was saying the same thing in the comments. She wrote in the comments how we are teaching our daughters you don't need a man, and you should do it on your own, and all of those things. And so with that being said, do you think we're hurting our daughters by teaching our daughters we don't need a man, we can do it ourselves, I'm this superwoman, and so on and so on and so on? What do you think? While I give you an opportunity to think, my personal opinion about the whole situation is, Sonia made a statement like she has to wait and think. I think because I was accustomed to it, because of the individuals that I did date, when it wasn't done, it turned me off. So it was an I didn't go to open the door because I didn't know I was supposed to. Because of I think how you start is how you finish. When those things happen, then they have to be unlearned. So when you learn, it's just like anything that you learn, then you gotta now unlearn it. And so I was grateful and privileged to experience those things. So my expectations from the beginning is like, what's wrong with him? Like he didn't open up the door. Like, oh, so he already telling me in my mind that he don't like me because, because I do remember the one gentleman that we only had one date, because when we got to the movies, I was still in the car. Like, and he's looking at me like, why
you ain't get out of the car?
In the car. What you doing in the car? And my thing is, sir, what are you doing? Like, we was in two different worlds. Yeah. And so it's, that was a first and last date for me. I'm just saying. So We're getting ready to take some questions from those that's tuned in. So those that's tuned in, I want you to write your questions because we get ready to take y'all questions because y'all doing a lot of talking and the feedback, and I like it. I love it. So we're gonna take some questions and answer from y'all. But my last question before we take those questions is our topic for tonight. And our topic for tonight is it okay for a woman to pursue or even ask a man to marry her? I'm just saying. Sonia, we're going to start with you first.
Oh, okay. Well, this is what I'll say. I think it's okay if a woman wants to do that. But speaking for myself, who I am as a woman, I prefer to let the man ask me for the proposal, but I am a starter. So for example, I might say, hey babe, would you like a small wedding or a large wedding? Hey babe, would you like a destination wedding, or do you want to get married in Virginia or where your family is? Hey babe, I really like this car I saw the other day. I don't know if you've been looking at rings for us, but let me know whenever you're ready to start taking a look. So I would definitely, start some conversations. And if he's like, oh, I'm not ready to get married, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not ready to fuck you anymore then either. No, I'm just teasing. But no, I mean, so for me, who I am, I wouldn't be like, hey, Bob, will you marry me? But I sure would start some conversations with him, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Nicole?
Yeah. That's good. I think, I think for men it's kind of hard. It can be, but it's also important for them to be the one to pursue a proposal. But I'm not against the woman exploring the topic, bringing it up. And so, because sometimes guys can just go along and go along and go along, and just depending on how easy it is, they can get comfortable. So I think there becomes a point where you have to ask yourself what you're comfortable with. Are you going to stay in this relationship and keep giving them whatever benefit they're getting from it without whatever you're wanting, benefits from being married and the commitment like that. So I think it's important it's okay to bring it up and to be like, hey, because, hey, if you hear that he's not interested in getting married for whatever reason, then you need to decide, is that something you can, stick with him through, because he probably won't change his mind if it's not something he's interested in. So there has to be some incentive. I personally think if you're not giving it up, that's more incentive for him to maybe be more committed, but that's just a personal thing for me.
Well, I'm going to kind of piggyback a little bit off of Nicole here. I feel like I feel like it's okay to talk about it. But I also feel like it's not necessarily okay, but important to talk about it, just because, not necessarily in the sense of asking the question, but just broaching the topic. Because if that's something the guy's not even interested in, that's just going to be a waste of your time. So I think it's important that we have that conversation, like Sonia said, asking the questions. Hey, what are your interests when it comes to this? Not saying we need to do this tomorrow, but let's talk about what some of our preferences are, because that's where we start realizing what deal breakers are and what we are or aren't comfortable with. And if that's the thing, he doesn't want to get married, then that's some tough decisions have to be made now. So yeah. So I truly believe that having those conversations are 100% necessary, but I'm going to let you be the one to let me know, is this what you want to do? Because I fully believe that it is the man to pursue, and it's not for me. I don't knock the people who do, or the ladies who do, who are strong enough to do that. But I think for me, just because of some of the experiences that I've had, it's taught me maybe I need to feel and allow him to chase me, type of thing.
Okay, so we talked about the the B part of my question? What about the A clause of my question? Do you think it's okay to pursue a man? And not just in marriage, I'm talking for dating wise. Would you be the one and you seen him, you were out with your girls, wherever the place may be, would you push up on him? Would you make the first move? Would you ask him out? I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
Sure would. Hey, how you doing? I love your beard. What kind of products do you use? You know, I'm natural, but sometimes I like to try new things. How about you?
Come on here, Sonia.
I love it, Sonia.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think it's cool to show him that you're interested in the beginning, right? I mean, show him you think he's attractive. Show him you think. I think that's okay. I mean, you know, as long as it's fair game, as long as he's not married. You know, yeah. Rub up on him, just stand real close and look him in the eyes, and you know.
Shannon.
So I would have to say my stance would be the same still. I wouldn't pursue the guy, but I would do like what Nicole is talking about. I'm gonna show you subtly that I'm digging you, and it's gonna be up to you to make the move.
I'll say this too. I was going to say this too. My relationships, my personal dating history has been the most successful when I have been running in the opposite direction. I have let him pursue, not made it easy for him. I feel like men like a challenge. They, you know, and it's not a game. I'm not making it seem like it's a game, but it is kind of like, you know, I think there is something to them pursuing, and they need to do that. So it can't help to encourage. It can't hurt to encourage them, but it, you know, is also good for there to be some kind of back and forth, and it, you know.
That's the fun part.
I mean, I apologize to my husband a lot because I gave him such a hard time.
I love you, ladies. Boldness, but I couldn't see myself. I don't care how interested I am in him. I can't make I wouldn't be able to make the first move.
You wouldn't do Bambi eyes. You wouldn't be like,
I'm not doing none of that. You have to make the first move, and then we on equal playing fields. But if you're not gonna make that first move, I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah.
You gotta make the first move. To me, you have to show me that you're interested first.
Yeah. And I think that's really what it all kind of boils down to, because most of the time, well, for me, if I can't even tell that you even look in my way, then I could care less. And to be honest with you, I just started even being okay with, okay, let's play the flirt game a little bit. Like before, I have friends that will be like, Shannon, you ain't paying no attention. They trying to talk to you, girl. And I would be like, well, he should have tried harder. I don't see it. I just don't see it.
So we're gonna take some questions now from our comments. My first question is, do you think men ask for help paying for the bill because they're not really interested in you? I'm just saying.
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I couldn't hurt to ask. If he was asking you to pay, I think I would maybe even say, hey, you know, are you just not seeing this go anywhere?
Straight to the point.
Maybe he was just turned off during the day. I don't know. That's crazy.
See, I just want to say that I have male friends and we've had these conversations before. So a lot of guys kind of feel like they want the woman to at least, you know, ask to leave a tip or contribute and give them the opportunity to show up. Like, no, babe, I got it, you know. And so some guys are like you, Nisha, that they feel like it's a slap in the face if they don't grab that bill. They don't even want you to see the bill. They don't even want you to see how, and they don't want you to pay the tip because they don't want you to know how much the bill was. They just want to pay it. So I've seen both, but I have seen heard a few guys mention that it makes them feel good if the girl at least offers something, whether it's the first date or down the line, especially if it's not a relationship yet. If it's in the dating part of before they're actually a couple, they feel like they would at least like her to offer. Whether now some guys like, yeah, she want to pay, she can pay. I don't mind. So I've talked to those guys too. But I feel like I get more of the guys is like they're willing to pay, but they like for her to at least offer to leave a tip or buy the dessert or just to put some skin in the game and not just show up for a free meal. So
I see the psychology behind them wanting to offer.
I think it's we're living in such a different generation and in a different world now. So it's, I get what they're saying, but I'm not interested in what they're saying. I do. I get it all day because I feel like I feel like what the Bible says that if we're going somewhere, then he's showing me already that he can provide.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm not, and I don't. It's not it's not about a number or figure that he makes. It's about him being able to provide. And if he can provide for me, I'm going to provide for him.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna provide for him. And so when he does nice things for me, I'm going to do nicer things for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it balances it out. I think that's why the relationships that I was in and encountered, that's why they didn't mind paying.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, it balances itself out.
Right.
It balances.
It really does.
I think too, you get more bees with honey. And to me, the opening up the door for me and to the pulling out the chair for me, that's honey all day. Mm-hmm. We don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to buy me any expensive thing. Those are the things that be like, that's what make me go home and get on the phone with my girlfriend's like, girl, he said that. You make you want to go back out with him, make you want to see him again. So it doesn't necessarily, we don't have to go to Rude Chris.
Right.
We could go to McDonald's. It's not about the money or the amount of money that he spends. It's just knowing that he will spend. Because at the end of the day, I'm not looking for him to do for me what I can't do for myself. And I think that's what's wrong with a lot of us as women. When it comes to relationships wise, we want the man to bring all of these things to the table, but then we have nothing to bring to the table. But the difference that I think that I'm not asking you to bring what I can't bring to the table. But I don't want to have to, it's not like at the end of the day, what I have, it ain't even necessary. Like, I don't need what you got and you don't need what I got. But if we bring what we have together, look how much more we can have.
Yeah. True.
So,
that part.
Definitely. Yeah.
What's she saying?
So I think so. That's a lot. I think that's what's wrong with a lot of the men in a situation, because they feel like nowadays all women want is what they can have and what they can get, and so that's where they're resistant about. Well, she could pay too, because she eating just like I'm eating. Why do I have to take up all the bill? But I just think that if our mindsets would change, relationships would change.
Yeah. And appreciation can be taught. That appreciation isn't always something that just comes naturally for some people. Like the fact that he's doing all that, Anisha, it's like there's an expectation that he acts that way, but also you're appreciative of it. And it's important to show that. And I really like that.
So I got Tamara saying, she said at 48 years old, she's beyond McDonald's. And
Yes.
I get that all day. You not, now when I say about McDonald's, McDonald's may be a snack, but you're not taking me out to eat to McDonald's. That's not a date.
I mean, are we getting ice cream sundaes? Because I would go for
You're
that.
not even taking me to ice cream Sunday for McDonald's because I like Cold Stone. Let's go where I like.
I mean, maybe, Cold Stone is closed. It's like 11 o'clock and you like, I'm not ready for the night to end. Well, we can go through the drive through at McDonald's and get a ice cream sundae to the car and talk. Because you're not coming to my house and I'm not going to your room.
That part. That part. Okay.
So how about Tamara? She's talking about I'm 48 also, and I've never been on a date to McDonald's. Even when I
would go.
Yes,
I would go as a supplement to a real date. Like I'll be honest. Like I remember one time I went out with this guy, and I think he just kind of wanted to showboat. And because I had a little shape on me back then, and so we stopped by his cousin's house, and then we made 2 stops. So by the time we finished all the stops, everything was closed. We was on Newport News side, so everything was closed. And he was like, well, let's just go to Taco Bell and get something. I said, well, I don't eat Taco Bell, but if you want to reschedule another date, I don't mind going out with you another time, but I don't eat that. And so then this was during the time when Bennigan's was open by the mall. We went to the movies and had like a real date, but I felt like I set the standard. Like, I guess he thought that I really was gonna go after you're gonna show me off all night to your friends. You taking me to Taco Bell? No, sir, not happening. So I just sat in the car. I was like, well, we can go out another time, but this ain't really working for me. And like I said, I did give him another chance. And he had a really great sense of humor, and I liked him as a person. So I think because he had other stuff going on for him besides just me wanting to get a meal out of him or whatever, I was willing to give him another opportunity. But I set the tone. I think for our friendship that we had from that point on, he knew that, and he always brought something to me when he came to visit me, because I set that tone of don't be coming to see me empty-handed. I mean, I don't care if you're bringing me Hershey's with almonds. You got to show up with something, so
too about who you're dating, and then I also think there's a new generation, because I'm gonna honestly say the individuals that I've dated and that I've gone out with, first of all the guys, I don't have to worry about them taking me to McDonald's because they don't eat McDonald's.
Right.
Yeah.
I deal with grown men. They don't want no McDonald's.
Right.
They like a glass plate and a real fork. So I don't get to encounter those issues. So I don't have to worry about those problems, because they want a real plate and they want a fork. And even when it comes to eating dinner, we can go out to a restaurant. I've dated where we went out to a restaurant and we've ordered food, and then I still, whether I'm at his house or he was at mine, I had to take it out of what it was in,
put it on
a real plate,
Mm-hmm.
and a fork, because they're not eating out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So it might be a red flag.
And if they look, if it's in a paper thing, they looking at me like, so
What you doing?
what you get ready to do with that? Because I'm hungry. Like, I know you're not getting ready to give me no paper stuff. I think too, it's about who and the type of person that you
I agree.
are in relations with.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about the McDonald's situation, because the guys that I could be like, well, let's just get something real quick because I'm starving. Could we stop at McDonald's? They looking at me like, who bought a McDonald's?
Right.
I don't eat that mess.
Mm.
So I'm just saying.
I don't know. It might be a red flag that he's cheap, but I mean, he also might have a lot of stock in McDonald's and just want to support it. I might want to know about that. I don't know.
That is a good point, Nicole. That is a really good point.
Nicole, it is. So I got another question for y'all. It says, what if you ask them to marry you and then they say no? Then what?
I would say why. I want to know why you don't want to get married. Why you don't want to get married? We making money up over here. This good. Why we making money? What? You know.
So your question, with your response to that is to ask him why.
Yeah, I want to know why he's not ready to get married.
Why?
Yeah.
Or why did he say no?
Or why did you say no? You know why? If I got the balls up to ask you, you gonna tell me no? I need to know why.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could agree with the why, but I feel like at that point it would just be informational, just because. Okay, because if I'm here and we're talking and I'm talking to you about let's get married, I didn't ask a question. I'm ready for the next step.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Unless there's a legit reason for us to stay together, or we can see there's a way to see past this or see a future beyond this, or maybe you're not ready right now and it's something you want to do but you're not there yet. Maybe we can get past that. But if it's just no because you're not trying to be married or you don't want to be married to me, then
that part right there.
He might be scared.
It's time.
Yeah, he might be scared. A lot of men, maybe it's even they've been married before and there's trauma there. They've had a bad experience. So I think it's fair to ask why and explore that with them. If they are open to discussing why, then I think it's fair to explore that, because it might be something that, like you're saying, Jen, you can work through. Maybe not, but at least then
That's good. I think that's real good. I can't, because I'm not asking.
Right? See, that's not fair.
It's the truth.
I'm not asking either.
I can only tell my truth. I can be in a relationship and I can desire to want to marry him. And I will bring up this subject and we're going to discuss it.
Right.
But I would never part my lips to say, will you marry me?
Right.
I would walk away from the relationship and be hurt and crushed first before I would ask him to marry me.
Right.
Because my thing is, what he didn't say said it all.
So before I walked away, I've been like, look, we've been together for fill in the blank amount of years. And I feel like marriage is the next progression. You haven't asked me to marry you. What is going through your mind? Like, how are you feeling? I would say, because I'm prepared to walk away from this relationship, but before I leave, I just would like to know why you haven't even asked me. Because by this point, I done already made my exit strategy and I'm already leaving. But I still am that kind of person and be like,
and that's good.
I'm tired. I just want to know why. See, I'm just, because that's me. Like, I'm that person. I'm like, why?
But Sonia, I think that's good. And I'm not saying what I would do is the right way or the right way to handle the situation. I'm just saying my truth.
That's
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I would, if I keep mentioning it.
Yeah.
That's the hint.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the hint for me.
Yeah.
And to me, you giving me the hint right back that's not what you're going to do.
Right. I mean,
so
some people are bold enough.
Say it to him is, I see this relationship is not going any further. Yeah. So
I think some people are bold enough for that, and I think asking why, like Sonia said, would be the next, I guess, logical step to take.
Absolutely, I think it is the best thing to do to ask.
Like
I'm not going to
do it. I wouldn't be able to do it either. Like I can't see myself asking the question. Just because, like you said, I feel like the absence of the word is just as strong as, you know what I mean, saying or asking the question. So I just feel like, because I'm a huge proponent of, if this isn't what you want, then, because your actions is louder than your words. So if this isn't what you want, I'm not going to push you. I'm not even going to broach or try to drop that seed. I'm going to need you to be asking the questions. I'm gonna need you to step up and show me that. Okay. Because in a marriage, I need to know that you're gonna step up when it's time to step up. And I feel like asking that question for me is the first, you showing me that you can do that.
And so, like I see in the comments, Tamara said putting pressure on a man, got him to getting married, and then being divorced after a year because of all the pressure. Again, to me, when I mentioned it and I said it, I don't ever want to put that type of pressure on you. And so that's why I'm not going to push the issue.
Right.
I made it clear of what I want. And to me, you making it clear of what you want.
Right.
So there's no pressure. So the best thing for me to do is to walk away. Because we don't see things the same. We obviously not on the same page. And I don't want to be with you if you don't want to be with me. So I'm gonna help you out and I'm gonna make the exit.
Value yourself more than trying to make him believe that you're worth marrying. Value yourself more because you are worth it. You shouldn't have to convince anybody.
That's right.
Absolutely. I think if you don't know,
nobody else know.
If you don't know, okay, somebody will. I'm just saying.
You better ask somebody. That somebody better be yourself.
Well,
you better be like, self.
When you show that value, though, it's you showing them.
Yes.
This is what it is. Either you're gonna get on board or you're not, and we're gonna keep it moving.
Well, ladies, that's our time. I enjoyed y'all. I enjoyed all the comments and those of you that's been watching. I thank y'all for continuing to tune in with me every Saturday live at 5. But before we go, I'm just going to give each panelist to give some closing remarks. I'm acting like I'm in church. I'm going to let each person give a little shout out, say a little thing before we go. So we're going to start with you, Nicole.
I think I don't know, live your truth. Relationships are harder and harder to navigate, but even more importantly, especially the younger generation, I feel like doesn't even know how to have relationships but relationships are important. So just be willing to stand up for yourself, stand up for what you believe in. Don't discount yourself, and and it's the good things will come to you. They really will. Sometimes you got to wait, but it takes trial and error. So sometimes you got to put yourself out there, but don't be afraid to do that and move on from something if you need to, because something better is going to be there.
Okay, Shannon.
I would say just be authentic. Be authentically you. You're not created or made to be like any or everybody else. So just be you, accept that whatever uniqueness that looks like, because when you walk in that confidently, powerfully, the people that are connected to you feel that. The people who see you recognize it. And whoever is dating you or whoever is looking at you romantically will recognize what they're seeing. As long as you're walking confidently in who you are and not allowing yourself to be molded or tweaked by anybody else or any outside influence. That would be what I would say. Just be authentically you, whatever that looks like. It could be a goofy laugh. It could be that you loud. It could be that you timid or shy, and that's okay. Just be you, and whoever is involved with you, connected with you, or wants to have a romantic relationship with you will recognize that, and they will either treasure it, or if they don't, you move right along, honey, and keep it going. That would be
Okay, well, for me, I'll just say, my whole belief is that I'm just on my own journey of self-love. So I would encourage each and every woman out there to be true to themselves, to work on loving themselves, because they have to love themselves before they can love anyone else. And so I truly believe that you have to be the energy that you want to attract. And so with that being said, if you're wanting someone to bring all this stuff to the table, you have to be like valuable. Like Nicole was saying, know your own worth, but, set the expectation from the start, and it is okay to change your mind. So if tomorrow I wake up and decide to ask somebody to marry me, I'm okay with that, but I have to be doing it because I want it. And, I think it's the right thing for me.
Okay. So again, tune in every Saturday live at 5 with your host, NJ. I'm just saying, find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. Again, until next Saturday live at 5. tune in. Thanks again for watching.
Hi, I'm Tiffany, the productions coordinator for the new hit show, I'm Just Sayin. I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. If you're interested in becoming a panelist for the show, please contact myself, Tiffany Buckley, or Shannon Hutchinson, and email us at njproductionsinc@gmail.com, and one of us will get back to you as soon as possible. I'm Just Sayin.